Hi all, HIPPER here. So some of you have been telling me there's been too many negative videos lately, so today we're doing a positive one. So don't forget to subscribe if you like positive videos. And this one is on the best improvements made to the game since it came out in 2019. And I know we kind of seem to forget about these improvements that were actually made over the years. And once they're made, then people forget and you don't really think about it anymore. But I'm just gonna go through the most important improvements made to the game in this video here. Alright, the first improvement is also one of the most important ones in my opinion, and it's something that the players have been asking for years really, and it only came into the game about last year, and it is of course the spotting ribbons. Because these ribbons, they show that spotting is important, and they encourage people to spot more. So these are really important, and thank you for that. Alright, next up we have a game mechanic that most people probably forgot about. It wasn't available when the game first came out, and it was, let's be honest here, it was quite a chore. What I'm talking about is of course boosting boosters, or combining one type of boosters into the next kind. How that used to happen in the past is that you could only do one at a time. So if you wanted to create epic boosters, you first had to create 3 rare boosters, and like I said, you can only do one at a time. And if you wanted to create an epic booster, first you had to create 3 rare boosters, and then create an epic booster using those 3 rare boosters. And obviously, as you can imagine, that took a long time, especially if you had a lot of boosters. Like, it could take hours really. So an improvement that was made was to allow players to just choose how many boosters they wanted to convert. I mean, that makes sense, right? And it has made the whole booster management so much easier. So this is definitely a great addition to the game, and is something that makes a lot of players' lives a lot easier. The next improvement is also fairly simple, but also took a while for it to be implemented in the game. And if you remember in the early days of Legends, the white numbers on the screen, like for example, very importantly, the clock at the top of the screen, it was white. And then once you have those white numbers against the white background, like the skybox on some of the levels, it could be impossible to see. And the same thing goes with the tickets. Wargaming then added a little black line around the numbers, and now you can actually see them in any situation. So thank you. Alright, the next improvement is something that a lot of people started asking for about a year into the game, because so many ships were available then. We had more than 100. And people kept asking, can we get a ship filter or a port filter, whatever you want to call it? And Wargaming agreed, and they worked on it, and they actually delivered this very nice filter here. Much better than I thought the one we were going to get. So you can filter by tier, nation, type, the type of whatever special ship you're looking for. And you can also order them. So this is fantastic filter, and it works really, really well. So thank you for that one as well. Alright, next one is the graphical fidelity, and how Wargaming has managed to, albeit slowly, but surely upped it. At this time, we are actually running the game, or you can if you have the hardware to it. You can run the game in 4K with 60 frames per second, and that's really great. That's what I wanted from the beginning. And if that's not enough, you can also turn ray tracing on. I usually turn it off because I think sometimes the frame rate takes a bit of a hit when you have it on, and it really doesn't do anything. That's really important anyway. But definitely great improvements here, and finally 4K 60. Alright, the next good thing here I picked is something that really, really surprised me. And it's the fact that Wargaming has mostly completely skipped monetizing the camouflages in the game. Look, I realize you can buy camouflages in the shop, like historical and special camouflages, but you can also create permanent camouflages yourself for free. All you need is paint, and I mean, you get thrown paint at you whatever you do in this game here, so it's not really a big problem. So if you want to make a green St. Paddy's Odin, you can do it for free. I'm actually very surprised that this is not monetized in some way, and I think kudos to Wargaming for leaving it this way, because this is definitely a plus for most players. They don't have to pay to put camos on your ships. Okay, the next positive thing is the addition of Legendary tier. Now, I don't know if Legendary tier was ever really planned for the game, or if Wargaming wanted to see if Legends did, relatively well before they started to think about adding in extra tiers. Like, perhaps Legendary was planned. Tier 8 seems less planned. We don't even get into that. But Legendary tier was in the beginning. It took a while, and it took nearly 2 years for it to be, I would consider complete, which it is now. And now it's my favorite tier. And I'm very happy with the addition. It took a long time getting here, but we're here now, and the game is so much better for it. Alright, next up, we have the addition of carriers. Now, in the first year of the game, Wargaming kept saying over and over and over that there were no plans for adding in carriers. And personally, I don't really care. I don't play carriers, and I don't really mind the carriers. They're just there in the game, and yeah. To me, they're fine. Some people hate them and some people love them, but I think it's good to have diversity in the game, and I'm very happy that we have carriers. So all we need now is subs. Alright, next up we have one of the most important and also one of the most requested additions to the game, and it is the armor viewer. Now, this is just so important. I cannot understate the importance of this viewer. And if you never use the armor viewer, please go in and use it on the ships that you play, so you get an idea of their armor layout. Like, this is the most important tool in the game to perform better. Like, you need to know your own armor layout, and you need to know the opponent's armor layout. And this editor here is fantastic. You can even pick like individual surfaces to see their thickness, and add and subtract as you like. Like, it's really good, very, very, very well made, and very, very happy it's in the game. So thank you for that one. All right, next up we have something that I've actually created a few videos on, and it is what is called epic modifications, which they're really normal modifications, just with a special bonus applied to it. And I realize these are in their infancy. They only came out this update. But I think it's one of the best ideas implemented in the game in a very, very long time. Because I hope Wargaming will take this further, and instead of epic modifications, you can also get normal modifications, rare modifications, legendary modifications, for example, each with a different bonus applied, and perhaps some sort of mechanic to switch the bonuses around, just like in Diablo or something like that. That would be awesome. So I think this is a great beginning, and I'm very happy that it is included in the game now. Okay, another great addition is the ability to choose your own port now. That wasn't always an option, but now you can choose between 6 different ports. And I know a lot of people have been wanting this for a long time, and it's now in the game, and you can simply just choose the port that you want at any time. Instead of being stuck with the one that Wargaming selects for the whatever current update is going on. So this is an excellent addition as well. Alright, the next improvement is the ability to ping the map. Like, this is so useful when you're trying to get a fairly complicated point across to your team or your division mates, and a picture says 1,000 words, so all you have to do is click one ship and click like whatever it is you want to convey, and people should get it. It's especially handy for ships with RPF to point out where the remaining destroyers are. So this is definitely a great addition as well. Alright, so the next thing I want to just mention here as well is the addition of the Epicenter game mode. And I am a firm believer in the more game modes available, the better the game. And if anything, it just limits the amount of games of Capture the Base that you're going to have to play, because that is by far the weakest game mode in Standard. Domination is fantastic, it's excellent. Epicenter is almost just as good. But Capture the Base, it's not really that solid. So it's very nice to have Epicenter as well, to just give a little bit of a fresh gameplay experience. Alright, lastly we have the addition of Crossplay into the game, meaning that Xbox people and PlayStation people, they can play together, and this has really shortened the queue times. They could be 2 to 3 minutes, now they are usually less than 20 seconds, and it is a great addition. So that was the last improvement I chose to add to include in this video here. But if you have any others, please put them in the comments and we can discuss there. So yeah, that was my opinion on the best improvements made to the game over the last nearly 4 years. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you out there.